But obviously the biggest Nintendo news this week, there has been some postings that Nintendo may be starting work on a new Legend of Zelda project.
What?
I know.
Oh my God, giant Nintendo company hires people.
I know. According to the Japanese jobs page on Nintendo.com out of Kyoto, they're looking for a 3D CG designer and level designer. They're looking for somebody with experience in action games and specifically dungeon, field, and enemy design.
Sweet.
And they're looking for somebody capable of working on in-game events. Of note to this story, before we jump into the conversation, Nintendo President Furukawa said last month that he wants to see more DLC from the company's existing major titles. So I open it up to the floor. Are we getting more Zelda DLC, or is this for a standalone Zelda project coming who knows when?
Whatever the
Is
next...
it a mobile game?
Or is it a mobile game? Yeah, hopefully they'll announce that at E3 instead of a Zelda game.
People love when they do that.
That would be really awesome. Did you see my Diablo case for the Nintendo Switch?
That's
Just
yeah,
random
nice.
segue.
Okay. No, so I first of all, of course they're already working on the next Zelda. There's just no way Aonuma went on to a different project. Like this is his baby. He's gonna work on the next Zelda game. Like
They've been working on the new
yeah, and so when I saw this job posting news, I wasn't thinking, oh, they're starting a Zelda game. I was thinking this is obviously proves they're working on something. But I was also going like, oh no, they lost a level designer. Because like I mean, it sounds like maybe they're hiring for some replacements because this is not like they're staffing up. 1,000 people plus worked on this damn game, right?
Yeah.
Right.
This is just a tiny little 2 people is nothing for a Zelda game. As far as whether it's DLC, I mean. They definitely.
I feel like we're a little too far out from Breath of the Wild for further DLC. Like to me,
You think so?
I don't know. Like in an ideal world, this is development for whatever the sequel to Breath of the Wild would be. And if it were up to me, I want some sort of smaller, more self-contained version of Breath of the Wild, like similar to like I guess analogous to what Majora's Mask was to Ocarina of Time. Like maybe developed in the same engine, maybe using some of the same resources and objects, but like a quicker turnaround, but maybe with a different angle. And of particular note to me, the idea that they're looking for somebody capable of working on in-game events, like here we go. I've spent a lot of time playing Destiny. I know Tina spent a lot of time playing Destiny. The idea of public events, Destiny style in Zelda, like they just drop, some kind of crazy powerful monster in the middle of Hyrule and you get 5 of your best links to go after it and mash stuff up. I think that sounds like a lot of fun.
Yeah, I mean, it's something they've experimented with in Splatoon already, sort of being like, this weekend is this thing, and you can get this thing for doing it.
But doesn't that sound like a mobile game?
Kind of, but I also don't.
How dare you?
No, because it's. I mean, there's only one Link. We've had 4-player Zelda games, but
Yeah,
they were
what if this
never.
was like a
they
modern
were never
take on
like
Four
these
Swords?
open online experiences. I feel like.
But you can wear different outfits.
This is very old
are your
Breath of the
own
Wild footage.
Yeah, I think we are. I don't think we're anywhere near close being too far out from gaining DLC from this game. This is one of the best-selling games of the generation. This is one of the definitive Nintendo Switch system sellers.
You think that after the 2 that have already been released and the amount of time that's lapsed in between, that they would go back and
Yeah, I think that's going to be one of the
DLC?
best-selling games this holiday for Nintendo Switch.
Think of something like Undead Nightmare for Red Dead Redemption.
I
where
can't, too spooky.
Huh?
I
but
can't,
but
too
where it essentially it applies this like new condition to the overworld that makes you explore everything again and changes everything. I could see something like that.
I mean,
That'd
Mario
be
Kart
really cool.
8 got DLC last year.
True.
It was like
That's
a
true.
10-year-old game at this point.
They've
20,
insisted
30-year-old.
that they want
It's
to support
400 years
Breath of the
old.
Wild.
Say that again?
They've insisted that they want to support Breath of the Wild, and that's always received well because people who buy one game a year don't
Right.
want to see it abandoned so quickly.
I would love for them to drop in something that allows me to actually do something worthwhile with that motorcycle. That would be good.
So that's the thing. The motorcycle was cool for a couple of minutes, right? And if you're somebody who hadn't explored the entire world, I guess it has value. But to me, it didn't draw me back in because I had already explored so much of this world
Right.
and I'd done everything.
So wait, in-game events, racing motorcycles with a bunch of links.
that sounds great.
DLC.
Yeah.
There you go.
I think the in-game
I
events.
hadn't
Cracked it.
considered it. I
Different
hadn't
game.
considered it until we brought it up just now. But like a modern take on Four Swords Adventure in the Breath of the Wild engine sounds awesome to me.
Before Breath of the Wild launched, or even we found out about it, Aonuma had hinted at effectively sort of testing out a multiplayer Zelda or like conceptualizing like
Right.
what's it like when a bunch of people work together playing a Zelda game, and like we'd only really seen that with a top-down perspective. We haven't really seen that in a 3D space.
What was there was a recent multiplayer Zelda as well, the one for 3DS.
Triforce Heroes.
Triforce
Yeah.
Heroes. Yeah.
Which was
fun.
It was
Yeah.
it was actually a good time in multiplayer.
No.
and just not.
Nope. I remember playing with you, and it
agree.
was not
It
a
was
good
not a
time.
very
It was
time.
fun when we played together in the office. You and I played over Skype one night, like the 1970s, and that wasn't good.
No,
Now you
that
can
didn't
just
work
use
at
your
all.
Nintendo app on your phone.
That's true.
But it would be
Well,
cool
wait.
to solve, like, you know, obviously games like Destiny are very popular. Anthem is very, very popular in its pre-release phase. It'd be interesting for them to do something where you kind of work together and solve puzzles with 4 players,
Yeah,
and you can play with
was
some.
Four Swords Adventure. That's to a lesser extent
It'd be
Triforce
cool,
Heroes.
but I feel like that's also a really big risk. We'll see
Yeah.
how Fallout 76 does, because interest on that game is definitely more muted than for Fallout 4 and 3.
Right.
well, I don't
And
necessarily.
I don't know if they would risk that.
I don't necessarily need like a full blown like 100-player PvP sort of situation for Zelda, but like I like the idea that
You read
you're
that somewhere.
teaming up. What?
100-player PvP.
Yeah, I've read a few articles about 100-player PvP, but
You should have put it in quotes.
Yeah, but I love the idea of teaming up with 4 people and dropping into like bespoke Zelda environments and taking on challenges like that. I think
Well, that's
really
how like
cool.
in-game events in Destiny where they're pretty micro-sized, so it's not like it
Yeah.
would be a full.
But like, can you
multiplayer
imagine? Can you imagine like a series of quests that you take on with a team, like a strike in Destiny, and then you go into a Zelda dungeon and you have 4 people working simultaneously to solve puzzles and take on enemies? Like that sounds awesome.
That'd
Yeah,
be a
do
cool.
those
That would be a cool DLC add-on to Breath of the Wild, because it would change the experience.
Right.
I don't buy it that they'll. I think they really cherish that kind of like exploration, you know, kind of more slower paced single player experience too.
What if you could play as the heroes?
Okay.
Maybe.
You know,
Yeah.
like what if you could? What if I could be that Birdman?
Yeah, that
And
would
have
you
all
mean
kind
the-
of different
You
powers.
mean the new Super Smash Brothers DLC characters?
Oh, you think that's who it's gonna be? It's just
Crossover.
It's gonna be
There you go.
Rivali and Garuk.
Garuk.
Garuk and Garuk and Garuk.